right, 3 matches down, 1 left to go. Welcome back to the Xfinity Desk. Elamite and T2 bringing you the action from the HCS Pro League Summer Season 2017. Just saw another awesome series, quite potentially an upset in most people's eyes, and that's Liquid coming over Envy.
Yeah, that was just an amazing series coming out from Liquid. Wasn't expecting it to be so dominating. I mean, the games were close, but 3-1 overall, just fantastic. Yeah, maybe a game 5 or something like that, but now we're moving into another potentially really good series. Evil Geniuses taking on Optic Gaming. Optic, obviously a huge favorite in this one, but EG, they do pick it up come tournament day, so I'm not going to count these guys out. Obviously, Lunchbox and Roy, very formidable opponents. You have Falcated and Tapping Buttons. These are the 2 guys, in my opinion, that are going to have to step it up to play at that Optic Gaming level, because we've seen Lunchbox and Roy defeat the likes of these guys in the X Games. Totally different lineup, but they have what it takes. They're going to have to harness that power. They really need it. Evil Geniuses, they have 1 win. They desperately are going to need that second one.
I mean, and look at Optic Gaming here. 81.8% map win percentage. Just absolutely absurd how good these guys are. Of course, sitting at 3-0, the only other undefeated team besides Splice here. And of course, like we said, battling Evil Geniuses, who came off of a loss before the break against Team Envious, but it did go to game number 5. And EG, they've got one of the newest players we've ever seen compete in Halo 5. But staying on top of Optic Gaming here, and the leader of the pack, guy I interact with the most if I ever need to go to hold of this squad, it's SNAKEBITE, 2.05 KDA. He's been in the scene since 2008, and of course the back-to-back Halo World Championships. All 4 of these guys are, but SNAKEBITE especially has been leading the pack here. He's been that duo with Royal 2 for, I don't even know, pretty much since 2010, I want to say these guys have been together, and of course it has absolutely worked off in their favor.
Well, I'm curious to see what these game types are, because we have Eden Strongholds it's sitting on right now, and oh, it is going to be Eden Strongholds. So different than the second round of game types.
Yeah,
so
it's not the same every week, but yeah.
So we had the first round of games. I'm a little confused on how that's all going to work out, but all I know is I love Eden Strongholds. So I'm really happy to see this be game number 1. It's going to be tough for Evil Geniuses, though, because we're looking at such control maps. I mean, Eden Strongholds, you're going to have definitely Optic Gaming picking up the Overshield 100% to start this game, most likely getting rockets as well. Heck, I'd be surprised if they don't even get the camouflage. Rig, they're coming out from the red side as well, most likely securing camo there. And then you have Coliseum, CTF, rockets, and sniper rifles. This is a disaster draw for EG game type wise.
Yeah, but this is that new EG lineup with Tapping Buttons, who's been that kind of...
And he's good at Eden Strongholds.
Yeah, I mean, he is... I mean, it's hard to say anything other than this guy's probably going to be better and better and better every single week. More than anyone else. Wouldn't surprise me at all that he is the most improved player, and just completely, night and day difference from what we've seen him to start compared to what we may see him do at DreamHack Atlanta.
Yeah, it's an awesome story. Tapping Buttons, coming from Mexico, and also joining Evil Geniuses to help them get their win as well. And in the win, he had some phenomenal plays. So this guy, extremely underrated, came out of virtually nowhere. No one was expecting Evil Geniuses to pick him up, and he's been able to perform at such a high level. But again, I'm looking at him. I'm looking at Falcated. These are 2 X factors. Lunchbox and Roy, I feel like they're going to bring their consistent gameplay to the table here, but you're going up against SNAKEBITE, Frosty, Lethal, Royal 2, the game types. Everything is in Optic Gaming's favor right now. It's going to be very tough for Evil Geniuses to do anything, but it's going to come down to the little things. It's going to come down to the beginning strategies. We were talking about how Optic Gaming 100% is going to get this Overshield. Well, Evil Geniuses, if you're listening to this, you're going to have to do something to stop it, right? And the only way that you stop that is sending 2 guys probably out that top window from blue base, dropping down and throwing grenades. You don't even have to drop down. You could stay up there and lay down some cover fire, and then immediately one of those guys is going to have to go for that. So I don't know. I just don't know if Evil Genius is going to be able to do it, but if they're able to do some small things like get control and kind of pick these guys apart one by one, you could see them starting to build some momentum and confidence.
Yeah, we'll see how this opening one starts out here. As Tom said, this is Evil Geniuses absolutely wanting to stop Optic Gaming here from getting control of this Overshield.
There's Tapping Buttons picking up the kill with the grenade. Man, I got excited. They killed the Overshield guy. They killed the guy going for the Overshield. And then the game ended.
Yeah, we'll see.
Poor Tapping Buttons.
What happens here. We'll get an update here just momentarily. But like we said, we can keep talking about this Eden Strongholds game type here. So Whether or not we'll see any kind of change up there, it's kind of a rough start for both these teams whenever we do have to do a replay, but unfortunately that is going to be the case that we're looking at right now. But it was off the start, so no issues, no different scores that we need to calculate in that scenario here. So like we said, we'll get an update here in just a moment. Looks like we are waiting for Lethal to rejoin the lobby. Once we get him in here, we'll start that one back up. So Eden Strongholds, red side, obviously the advantage to start this one off. But EG, looks like they decided to focus more on the camo side to start that one off, as 2 to 3 players kind of moved over towards plat.
Yeah, and that's probably the right decision because controlling the catwalk, and what I would be doing from the blue side is a lot of teams make the mistake of not going for red because they're so concerned with going to overshield, going security, and then they get so excited because their momentum's kind of carried them over and they just immediately start pushing blue bend, right? Because either they see someone else is capping it or again, like they've just started running that way, so they continue to run that way instead of doing a 180 and run towards red. So I feel like the thought process there would be, let's try to go camo, let's try to secure catwalk, which is the most important stronghold to get, and then let's try to make our way over towards red nest, which to me ideally would be the 2 best strongholds to hold. I still feel like catwalk and red nest are superior, even though you can kind of trade them out and create whatever setup that you want if you know what you're doing. But I do like that thought process from Evil Geniuses because you're most likely going to have to give up rockets no matter what, and then your only option to kill the overshield guy is with grenades. So allocating resources even over towards inside blue, over outside towards blue bend, or even kind of towards like anything past the 50-yard left point there, it doesn't make any sense for these guys to do that. So I think that they are under the right impression. It's just, what's going to happen? Are they going to switch it up now because they feel like maybe Optic saw that, or is Optic going to switch it up now that they saw maybe the first 5 seconds of what's going on? So many little details and nuances go into not just the beginning strategies, but the replays here. So it's like, are we going to do the same thing? Are we not going to do the same thing? Should we be listening what they're saying, or where should we not be listening to what they're saying?
Like what Ace said earlier, listening to the stream and we're almost psyching them out.
I know, right?
Because of not because they lost the game, but we were saying NB had the momentum going.
I didn't know that people were listening to the stream while they're playing.
Yeah, I would say I would probably stop a little bit.
That's illegal. No, I'm just kidding.
But what do you think now?
I think still the same thing. It's going to be very tough for Evil Geniuses. I think that we're going to see some really solid things come out from them, but I can't see this going past 100 to 50, honestly.
Gotcha. 150 or 100 to 50, the prediction coming out.
I'm going to say, I'm going to say even less than that, but I'll say 100 to 50.
Okay. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, I want to put more faith into EG here and this new lineup because I think this tapping buttons really is kind of what they needed to jumpstart. They're already in a better position than we've seen them in the last 2 seasons of Pro League. So
yeah, not just record-wise, but the way that they're playing. I've just been really impressed with watching the amount of teamwork and where their awareness is. And you can just tell because sometimes there will be a guy that will be like one shot and not getting cleaned up. And you're like, what is going on with these guys? Why aren't they cleaning it up? But here it is. It looks like that's going to be, I believe, Frosty making his way down towards the overshield, and Roy is going to shut him down. So Optic does not get that overshield as we predicted, and it is going to be a heavy influence for Optic towards the camo side. So a little bit of a flip-flop there, Kyle. We were expecting heavy influence for Evil Geniuses towards the camo side, and instead they make the emphasis towards going towards the pit, a little bit towards the camo, and then eventually Roy picking up those rockets.
Oh, and Roy does push over towards Nest to help out with his teammates, but they do end up giving up Ben. So great job by Optic actually recognizing where Roy was running and capitalizing, going for that Ben. Now Catwalk is focused on here for EG, and they do get it. I thought for sure that guy was going to be taken out, but now Roy with these rockets trying to stay alive as long as possible, buy some time, does a good job and gets around the corner.
Roy's being a victim of the old radar right now. He goes in there, he gets the rockets, he kind of crouches inside the security, expects people to kind of appear on radar, but you know what? That radar has changed as of, well, a long time ago, so that play necessarily doesn't work out for Roy, unfortunately. And he did have a teammate that he was trying to bait, and that teammate didn't even provide enough necessary necessary information on either where his death was or even on his death screen. So that's unfortunate for them. One of the first mistakes that we're seeing for Evil Geniuses, and we'll see how hard they get punished for that one, is SNAKEBITE locking down blue platform right now. That's going to be Catwalk going on over to... Oh, no, not tapping buttons. Those rockets come back to bite him as Frosty comes in and gets the reset for Optic Gaming.
Just a moment ago, Evil Geniuses took down 2 players. It was a 4v2 scenario and controlled over to Optic. And SNAKEBITE able to win a 1v1 and buy enough time for his teammate with rockets to push over to Catwalk, get that reset, and all of a sudden that huge advantage, that 4v2 that they had, just completely negated, and control still over to Optic.
Yeah, and now SNAKEBITE just doing SNAKEBITE things, just anchoring, going where the team needs them, filling certain positions, and now Overshield's going to be popping up. Both teams should have this one under control. You did see Roy get the kill onto Frosty, and there it is. SNAKEBITE going to solo cap that one. Ooh, Overshield goes on over to Falcated, so nice timing there from Evil Geniuses, and now SNAKEBITE rotates out, but he gets picked off by Falcated, still racking up points, but now is the opportunity for Evil Geniuses to push.
Yeah, and we don't know where rockets are, but Frosty had them and we're taken out, so we'll try to keep an eye.
Looks like Lethal got the new ones.
Oh, and okay, so Frosty loses them. Lethal picks up the ones off of his body there, and they're focusing on Ben. It doesn't look like Evil Genius is able to get over there in time, especially with 3 members. That's not the fight you're going to want to take yet. You need to wait for your teammates here. Sure enough, he gets taken out, so... Ooh, and you can't be dropping this much when you have all of that information there. Roy also not able to pick up that W or that 1v1 kill there onto Frosty, and sure enough, just like that, we may be looking at control going back over to Optic.
What a rocket there from Lethal. The first one was really impressive, and the second one well placed as well. And now you're seeing some points being put on the board for Evil Geniuses, as it's not going to last for long unless they are able to secure that catwalk and clear the players out over towards security. And it looks like Falcated got his shields back and shuts down Frosty, so nice job there. Ooh, Roy, that has to hurt, trying to make his way over towards catwalk and try to lay these guys down, but it's not going to happen. Tapping Buttons comes in instead and replaces what Roy was trying to do, and also has some support over towards the blue platform. That melee does not connect, which is really important because they need to secure this catwalk. There it is, triple cap coming out for Evil Geniuses. They are going to get total control and the lead for the first time in this game, and possibly getting this reset onto Red Nest, but no, that player gets meleeed down.
Oh, and he is so weak. Look at his health, Tom. I don't even see anything there. How is that possible? 2 frag grenades touched him there, maybe even a shot. And sure enough, they may be able to recapture this. Some grenades come in. They do get it, but you know, Optic Gaming, they don't care so much about a second or 2 here. They set up for the long haul. They go for those big chunks of time, and that's why.
Well, they just reverse triple capped them right there. I mean, they were what? Being triple capped on about 10 points ago, and almost immediately in a blink of an eye, they get Blue Bend, they get Catwalk, they get Red Nest. That means one person had to split away from the team and capture something by themselves. So now that they have total control again with weapons, this is scary. This is what Evil Geniuses has to watch out for. And I'm not sure what happened with the camouflage. So there it is, SNAKEBITE actually picks up the camo. So this could be good for Optic Gaming again. They have to find out where that rocket player is. It looks like that was Tapping Buttons that SNAKEBITE was shooting down towards the pit, has the rocket. So that has to be priority here for both of these teams. For Evil Geniuses finding kills with that rockets, and SNAKEBITE using this camo to find out where the rocket guy is.
Yeah, and we'll see SNAKEBITE doing his best job to move around, stay alive here. He gets 1 perfect kill. There's a rocket player right next to him. Great job by Tapping Buttons, still holding on to those rockets, picking up a kill on the camo player, recognizing, or he would have seen him show up on radar. But great shots from Falcated. Also picks up a kill himself. Now they need to focus on regaining some control here, because Optic Gaming, this is not the team you want to let pull ahead of you.
No, not at all, but Evil Geniuses has played this far cleaner than I was expecting, especially when they've been able to control this catwalk and security area. So there it is. They're going to retake that one again. How long is the question, though? Optic Gaming, we've seen them retake things so quickly. They got triple capped on before, and it happened in a blink of an eye where the reversal came in. So it starts with Blue Bend. Where's Optic Gaming going to go? Rockets in 30 seconds, Overshield and Camo coming up after that, and that's going to be the big play on the map.
All right, we see a lot of action happening here towards top catwalk. You've got Tapping Buttons and Lunchbox contesting this. They pick up yet another reset. The battle on catwalk. We'll see not enough help coming in here for EG, while it is there for Optic Gaming. 4v2 now. And while this game is still close, like we said, it's Optic Gaming. They're looking for these big chunks of time here.
Yeah, and you can just look at Royal 2's play style as kind of the whole Optic gaming philosophy, right? Where it's, you know, we're never going to risk anything too crazy. We're never going to play outside of our comfort zone. We're going to wait for you guys to make mistakes, and then when you make mistakes, we're going to punish you for it. And that's a mistake right there, though, by Optic Gaming, not setting up in time for the overshield. It's the second time we've seen EG walk away with that one. It's going to be Lunchbox this time around.
Ooh, and Tapping Buttons picking up the 1v1 win over Frosty there pretty convincingly. This is exactly what they need to get back in this. They still have the numbers advantage. You can see on the right of your screen, Falcated still with
Nice
the
stick.
overshield. That stick shouldn't kill him, though. Sure enough, takes all that overshield away, but not enough to completely take him out.
Yeah, nice stick. That was pretty much the only play there for SNAKEBITE. Was hoping that he was going to get a melee off as well. They were not able to capture Red Nest, though, because of Frosty. He gets the kill onto Tapping Buttons, and then he gets the kill on to Lunchbox, almost securing the game.
Yeah, I think it was, what, 67 to 51 here, and sure enough, Frosty has that amazing kill on the Lunchbox. Lethal at the same time picked up a perfect on somebody else. You had 3 members of EG go down towards the end of the game, and Optic Gaming absolutely recognizes we just need to buy some time here, and this game is over.
That could be something, though. I don't know if they're going to be in position to eventually make their way towards Catwalk. Yeah, that's just going to be a little bit too late there, as Falcated did back off and thrust out of there. 100 to 51, Kyle? I don't know. My prediction was off.
What did you predict?
100 to 50.
50? Yeah, I thought it was. Jeez. That's pretty good, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, closest
I
without
play a lot
going
of Price
over
is Right.
either. Yeah.
And a lot of Halo.
Good deal. So we'll take a look at the stats here in a minute, kind of break down what happened this game. Evil Geniuses, I feel like it's still a similar storyline to what we saw with them against Envy, where lots of great moments. You saw multiple times 2 to 3 players setting up for power-ups, setting up for the rockets. They're able to get those, but then even when, like, for example, Roy had the rockets running around Turbine, moving from Nest to Ben, I think Optic
Yeah, and he didn't get any kills with those.
Yeah, he didn't get any kills with them, and Optic still captured the bed, where that's generally the time you want to leave the rocket guy to lock down a hill by himself and let the other 3 players focus on another stronghold.
So many hours go into this game. And, you know, Optic Gaming, obviously more practiced than Evil Geniuses, but you can tell that some of the things that happen are solely just because that they're a more practiced team. And you're seeing, you know, Roy lose the rockets there. And that was just an inexcusable thing, because he had a player there that was baiting with him. He had 2 players in the stronghold on over to his right that he could have rocketed. So there was just so much miscommunication going on and just such an experience that it seemed like Evil Geniuses didn't even know what to do with the rockets in the beginning of the game. Like, they'd never even had them before.
There's good points. Now, I do want to point one thing out, though, when I take a look at the stats again. There were 10 perfect kills this game. 5 from Optic and 5 from Tapping Buttons.
There was 5 perfect kills from Tapping Buttons? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even catch that. That is an insane stat. Like you said, 5 from the enemy team, just 5 from him alone.
On top
And how
of
many kills
none
did he have?
from his
like
other
12? So like half of his kills were perfect kills.
Wow.
That is just ridiculous. So now we move into Slayer on the rig. We're going to start this one off with Lunchbox, who looks like he's going to get aggressive to help secure the sniper rifle for his team. What a grenade.
What?
To take one player down to no shields. Royal 2's going to get caught off guard as well. That's going to be a double kill to open this one off for Lunchbox. Has a player on his radar. Turn around and no-scope him, Lunch.
Oh, SNAKEBITE decides, no, I'm just going to back off here. No, don't want to fight this one.
Throw it off.
Wait for some help, and sure enough, Lunchbox, another really good heads-up, selfless play, getting that weapon off the map here. Like we said before, some teams are really good with these power weapons. Optic Gaming is one of those teams that's extremely good with the power weapons, where rather than being in, it's better to have it not in anyone's hands than in the enemy team's hands.
Tapping Buttons has the scatter shot, so we're going to find out what's going on with his screen. As like you said, 5 perfect kills in the previous game. So this guy is shooting out of his mind.
High sensitivity too.
Yeah, it's the high sensitivity. He's moving around. You could tell doing a lot of the YY action, a little bit of the mechanics coming out. I would have liked to see him bounce that one off the ground, but it doesn't matter. Still taking Lethal down to no shields and getting the kill. I believe that was the camo player as well. So big plays coming out from Tapping Buttons. Lunchbox going swimming for the 2nd time so far in this game. This time didn't have any weapons to throw off. And now Tapping Buttons just going to slow it down, trying to find Lethal over there. I love that thrust. Just needs to bounce it off the ground. Doesn't even do that. Bounces off the wall behind him instead. Lethal going to drop. Tapping Buttons, however, does die to Royal 2, who rotated around towards the catwalk. So back and forth here, but Evil Geniuses up 2 kills.
This is a very hectic game. If you can see any of these players dying, there's players dying in bunker, there's players dying in carbine,
Ooh, there's
over
another one.
by underpass, everywhere. So there is non-stop action happening so far in this one.
Tapping Buttons fighting a scatter shot again, even living through the grenade. Will he live through the second one? Holy cow, we got to go to this guy's point of view and see what's going on.
Yeah, he is having a phenomenal game once again. So Falcated, 3 kills, 5 assists, 5 deaths. The Tapping Buttons, 5 kills, 1 death.
Wow.
I missed it. What happened, Tom?
He scatter shot him right in the face and
didn't kill him.
Didn't get the trade, but that's unfortunate. However, the scatter shot is going to be on respawn right around the time that the new camouflage is going to be picked up. So expect to see these guys posturing right around the barrels side. Falcated aware of that, and he's kind of locking this area down. Watching the basement window would be a smart idea because players are going to eventually try to, ooh, look at that. Falcated with the perfect shots onto Royal 2. And Royal 2, I believe, even had first shot on him.
Yeah, I mean, it was a reversal, so that's never one thing that you want to see. Roy on your kill feed there grabs 2 kills. There he is jumping around waiting for his shields to recharge. Down by the underpass.
Scatter.
Yeah, Tapping Buttons with the scatter shot. You can see there in the player outlines on the, or the player info, I should say, on the right. They're both primary and secondary weapons that they've got. Now, Falcated didn't see that player show up on his screen, but it doesn't matter as Roy will finish off that one as well. Here comes the charge from Optic Gaming. They really want to regain control of Tower 2. You can see 3 members over here, but as the numbers advantage goes over, ooh, looks like he probably would have died either way with SNAKEBITE making it all the way into bunker, but this is really good push from Optic Gaming. I thought this one was going to get shut down immediately,
wow.
But no, the EG is just not being able to focus fire enough as they need to, and sure enough, the kill's heavily swinging over to Optic.
Was that Lethal's grenade? I guess so. He's predicting Lunchbox perfectly, though. Lunchbox gets the beat down there. Watch out for that grenade in the basement window. Lethal, nice little auto-stabilize to clamber over towards the camo, thrusts out of that danger to stay alive. Now probably going to make his way over towards the overpass to lay down some shots. Instead, he's going to elect to take a little bit of a safer route and just back off, lock down E1, and wait for any players to potentially pop out over here. And when you see someone slow it down like that, it's because they have a weapon. So let's go and switch it on over to Frosty and find out where he is going to elect to snipe from. It looks like the bunker, the ever so popular bunker, maybe eventually rotating down towards E1, trying to catch a couple players down towards the open field or maybe towards that basement window area.
Yeah, Frosty's just still moving around. This is a brand new sniper, only down by 2 kills with essentially the best possible weapon you can have in your possession here on the map. Still down by 2, and looks like, so Frosty, he wants to go out and help his teammates, but he's recognizing as soon as he pushes forward here, it's a good chance somebody from EG may spawn in bunkers. That's one of those decisions you can just tell how experienced he is by staying back there when every instinct in your body would tell you to push.
Yeah, it was just a failed push right there overall by Optic Gaming, and ooh, SNAKEBITE with the crispy shots. They're onto Tapping Buttons, and what a grenade from Frosty, predicting, oh man, if he would have hit that shot, I would have freaked out. Lunchbox, no shields, over down towards top tower, eventually gonna drop. He's still alive. Royal 2 coming in there with the scatter shot onto Falcated, giving them the lead now. EG slowly but surely getting picked apart now, the weapons going on over to Optic Gaming. And this is what you got to watch out for. Everyone now over towards the open field, the nest area. What is going to be the play here for Evil Geniuses?
And this is one of those times where you really see Optic Gaming just turn it on. We hit the halfway mark in the game, and all of a sudden that hectic play style that was really benefiting EG to start this one up is now being slowed down, and now it's EG or Optic forcing EG to play their play style.
That's for sure, and it's just so disciplined here for Optic Gaming. Very rarely are you going to see them make a mistake like they even did earlier when so many of them charged towards the barrels, and now Frosty going to elect to take a little bit of a different angle and try to get some sort of high ground here, and doesn't really do anything except look cool, but eventually he'll drop down, and there it is.
He didn't block spawns.
Well, he didn't block spawns. I guess that's one thing that he did, but
well, no, I mean, it was good. He actually recognized, I think, that his teammates were going to cross the map, and rather than run and try to regroup with everyone, he got behind them over so high in the air, he wasn't actually blocking the spawns, and you had 2 people from EG spawn over towards bunker.
I want to see some cool no-scopes from that area, though. Remember when he got the double kill to the little crack? There it is. Frosty putting down the shots. He always takes the slimmest of angles and always finds the headshot, which is such a risky play, but when he's doing it the right way, it's almost like no one else does it like he does, really, realistically. The angles that he takes with just the sliver of margins for air, and he's always finding it perfectly. I'm curious to see if they're going to be aggressive again towards the camo or if they're going to just slow play it. So last time, it seems to me what Optic wants to do is add pressure right when the camo is coming up towards the barrels area because, ooh, nasty scatter shot by tapping buttons. But it makes sense because a lot of times when teams are setting up for camo on the other side of the spectrum, when you don't have bunker, you're sitting over towards that basement window area, and you're not really focused on a flank coming around the corner, especially with the new radar changes. So Optic Gaming is always aggressive towards that area, and now Frosty's kind of found his own little counter strategy to do when players get too aggressive.
All right, you can see those player outlines there. There's a big collapse coming out here from Optic Gaming. They take out the sniper rifle player. Was that 2 snipers that they had? It was. They had 2 snipers in their hands, and that's why we're seeing this charge here coming out of Optic, and this is a scary moment for EG. Falcon just throwing it off the map, tries to get a no-scope in the meantime. Not going to work out, though.
Oh, that looked hilarious. Now look at that. It's going to be Frosty again doing the same thing. He's going to clamber up towards the tip top of the bunker area and try to force these guys to spawn down there, but it's not going to happen. They spawned actually over towards the open field area, and Frosty drops down, picks a double kill up, one with a beatdown, another one with a perfect kill. Weapons in the hands of Royal 2 here. This is scary. SNAKEBITE has the sniper rifle as well. Again, Evil Geniuses, they're looking good. They're hanging in there in the middle of the game, and then all of a sudden Optic Gaming just blows it wide open. A lot of the times having to do with just overall control, which they seem to do just so well.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally EG leading the game, tapping buttons, having a phenomenal start. Then the 25 kill mark hits, and all of a sudden it's just all about Optic from there on out. And speaking of Optic, Royal 2, 13 and 8 now, as we see him get taken out by tapping buttons.
Yeah, and on the other side, 5 and 13 right now for Falcated. Has been shooting fairly well, just probably on the short end of the stick of a couple of bad decisions here. And now 7 kills though, so if Falcated could turn it around a little bit in the kill and deaths department here, maybe end it with a killing spree, that would do Evil Geniuses some serious favors.
Yeah, Falcated moving around. He's had a couple perfects this game, spotted a player. He's all the way down the bottom of the map. Who wins this one? Roy comes out ahead, but it will be cleaned up. Camo is up. SNAKEBITE not able to get the burn, but that's what he was going for there. Players from Optic coming off spawn towards Carbine. Anyone from EG will be over towards Bunker. So the map's essentially just still split here. But Falcated's got to be careful as he's fighting Falcated. There's another player over to his left.
Yeah. That's just bad timing right there. I mean, they had so many opportunities to go and grab that camouflage, mainly Falcated did. As soon as they got that kill on a SNAKEBITE, they should have just immediately dropped on that one. Sometimes, you know, these teams, they play scared of Optic Gaming, and they give Optic Gaming just a little bit too respect, rightfully so. I mean, if I was playing these guys, I'd be terrified, but overall, you know, you have to be confident in yourself and know and just play the numbers game in a situation like that. And, you know, you need the camouflage in order to come back from a deficit this poorly. So you're not going to be able to win if they, you know, burn it. You're not going to be able to win if you burn it. You have to get away with that thing clearly. So that was the one opportunity they had to get back in the game. Unfortunately for them, they're not able to do it. Now SNAKEBITE here with the sniper rifle. Optic Gaming doing their classic barrel side push. Usually starts with a player going right into this position. Typically with the sniper rifle, you can see the shadow from that player as well. That's going to be tapping buttons, trying to stay alive. His teammate blocking him a little bit. Now 2 players are going to be stuck down over towards the basement. Charge because you can't lose mentality coming in here from Optic as they make their way again towards the barrel side, but Roy is going to push Lethal back and say, no, this game is not over quite yet, and maybe SNAKEBITE going to just back off here and try to get a long-range pick with the snipe.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have more hope if there wasn't so much ammo left here in this sniper rifle in SNAKEBITE's hand. So as you can see, they're playing the game to their advantage.
And there's
they
no
don't
time.
make these big mistakes. Yeah, the time is in their favor. The weapons are in their favor. Essentially, the map positioning is fairly even. No camo. Well, camos would come up soon, but just like that, fairly anticlimactic ending. Lunchbox gets caught out, and SNAKEBITE will finish that off just with a pistol. Yeah, absolutely.
Around the, like, got him right before he hit the corner there, and I was expecting some sort of 6 snipe to end it. I think that they were doing the same thing on the Optic side, trying to have some fancy pants ending there. But let's take a look at the stats really quick, because we do have Royal 2 sitting at 14 and 9. I'm curious to see where the power weapon kills were at, though. There it is, the big difference maker. 9 power weapon kills to 3, so a 6 kill difference there. But look at, it was only a 9 kill difference in the game score, 50 to 41. And I believe you also had Lunchbox falling off, so that could have been a 50 to 42. 6 kill difference in terms of the power weapons, could have been 50 to 48 in that situation. Or if you say that we would have had the advantage with the power weapons instead, you could say that that could have been an Evil Geniuses win. So they're right there. It's just unfortunate that they're not able to put it together. Again, new roster in terms of, you know, still trying to mesh together. Naded, replaced by tapping buttons. still trying to fit in. I feel like he's done a pretty good job so far, but still a far way away, apparently, from beating Optic Gaming in this series. Down 2-0. A lot of work cut out for them moving into game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, the good things from Evil Geniuses that we're seeing is they almost beat Envy. Well, Envy also lost to Optic, so, you know, transitive property here. There wasn't a whole lot of hope to come out and just, like, dominate the competition and pull out ahead of Optic Gaming. This is a lot of this is getting prepared for the rest of the season and getting prepared for Atlanta DreamHack. They need to get as much experience under Tapping Button's feet as humanly possible. They need to get them into these games against the best teams in the world. Like, that was even a conversation that's gotten brought up in the past. Like, why is NA so much stronger than, you know, some of the other regions?
Because of the practice. Well, it's the same thing. Why are the pro teams so much stronger than the amateur teams? It's because they're constantly scrimming against each other. That's why it's so crazy to see a team like Oxygen Supremacy come up and do so well. And it's just, you know, such a tough battle for those guys in Europe, in Mexico, in Australia, and they have the skill, they have the talent there. You could see Tapping Buttons is an amazingly talented individual, and you watch some of the players over in EU, like Respectful, just, you know, dominating. I'm really curious to see where those type of players would fit in on a top team, because it seems to me that their, you know, untapped potential could potentially really, you know, fare well for a team. As we move into CTF Coliseum, this is what I was a little bit worried about. Again, another one of those game types with heavy influence on power weapon control. Lunchbox, he's going to be the guy to make his way over towards the Rockets, but you do have Optic Gaming being aware that he wants to push up that street very quickly, and Roy's going to get the first blood there onto Lethal. It's going to get traded out there by Royal 2. Epic battle happening over towards top Rockets. All 4 dead for Evil Geniuses. Optic Gaming with a fantastic start, and Roy finally came off the spawn. They have some very late staggered spawns.
There's no replay off this one, Tom. That is worst case scenario. You can see the members of EG just trying to get out of the back of their bases. Snakebite and Frosty and the rest of Optic Gaming just flying in with the power weapons, just once again taking all 4 members down. Tom, it is 1 kill over to Roy, already 8 kills in Optic's favor.
Yeah, and a flag capture 50 seconds into the game seems to be kind of the standard in terms of the fast flag captures. We've even seen one go in a matter of 30 seconds, but let's see if Roy's going to be able to bring these guys back down from 1-0. But you're right, Kyle. Touching base and kind of piggybacking on what you were saying, because, you know, it looks like Optic Gaming is going to be able to continue to steamroll this one pretty quickly. We're going to come down to a scenario where it's going to be Evil Geniuses, Ronin, probably Straight Rippin'. 2 of those teams are going to relegation. Oxygen Supremacy has a pretty darn good shot at beating one of those teams. I think that we're going to come down and see for our first time 1 team get relegated, and potentially it's going to be 2 pro teams playing against each other to find out who that's going to be. That's what I think is going to happen.
That'll be a very interesting story to see how that plays out, because we have not had a team get relegated yet since Pro League has begun here, well, in NA anyway. And then, of course, we are still on board here with Frosty. He's got that sniper. He's had it the whole time. He's been sniping from multiple different angles and just so good at rotating and dodging grenades. And the Evil Genius is trying to get that flag run. They have a numbers advantage. Somebody else from Optic just coming off spawn over towards Cave, but it's just too quick. There's just too much pressure here, and you can see even with the numbers disadvantage, Frosty's sitting up top Rockets like he owns the place.
Yeah, I thought he was going to hit one of those no-scopes, but doesn't connect. Tapping Buttons. Going to be able to get the Rockets for this one. That's going to be... Ooh, thought he was going to rocket the flag, but he would have committed suicide there, so heads-up play by Tapping Buttons. I love going up the lift and thrusting with the Rockets. One of the more fun things to do in CTF Coliseum, and he does it very well there, getting the killing spree. Unfortunately for him, too much reinforcements for Optic Gaming towards the snipe side of the map. Royal 2 with the knight. Look at that support from across the map. Love the prioritizing of kills there by Royal 2, and even gives Lunchbox the business. That's, yep. I felt the body disrespect coming after that one.
Oh, just no, he says, the Lunchbox. And I mean, that was so good. I could spend 20 minutes talking about his decision making, his positioning, prioritizing, and then a perfect shot to kill Falcated right after that. He's been sitting on the elbow, shutting down the spawners and the people that have already made it across the map into his own base from the elbow.
Looking for the assassination, gonna find it on the Falcated. Now you're gonna have Tapping Buttons with the sniper rifle trying to place some last-minute effort here to get the return, but it's not going to happen. Optic Gaming one capture away from locking this one down. That has to be frustrating from Roy, trying to escape out of the base, crouching towards the elbow. There is nothing that Optic Gaming isn't doing. That Evil Geniuses is on the ropes here. Every play, every prediction, just so well executed all across the board by Optic.
Yeah, and you can see Royal 2, he was on the enemy team's elbow, picked up 3, 4, maybe more kills on his way to his own cave, where he picks up the sniper rifle off tapping buttons and has already made it back over towards the enemy team's base, all without dying.
Did that connect? I feel like he didn't get hit markers, but that's still connected, and I saw the player blinking, so he was no shield. So maybe I'm losing my eyesight
spectator
here.
mode sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm losing my eyesight a little bit.
That could be it. We're getting old Tom here, and Royal 2.
Eat more carrots.
That's somebody that's not that old yet, but still kind of up there. And as far as his talent goes, yeah, he's on.
What's funny is when you look at everybody and you kind of picture like them actually being the Master Chiefs and stuff like that. So like think about Royal 2, like back in the Afro days, things like that. You know,
I miss those days.
I do too. I miss Afro Royal 2.
Afro 2.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Please do it. Oh, looking for the triple kill on it, tapping buttons. Tapping buttons, shutting it down. Roy picks up a kill as well. Last shot, Guardian Angel. So this is still alive here for Evil Geniuses. It's going to pop 2 players on the return. They are not going down without a fight. This is an opportunity to run the flag as well. EG still has some life. I like this route too by Roy. However, ooh, Snakebite and Royal 2 picking up a kill. So like this play by Roy, again, just slow playing it here. And what's so scary, Kyle, is you watch these really great decisions being made by Roy. I mean, he did everything right there. The flag still got returned, and now he has to start over again.
Yeah, and I think even Royal 2 kind of thought this game might have ended after he got that double no-scope. Or double snipe. That means 2 players were able to fight the other 3 members of Optic Gaming and actually secure that return here. Because not only that, or no, it's like 1 member, because Royal 2 is also fighting the 3rd member from Evil Geniuses there. So now we have another flag being run here by Optic. And we'll see if they're able to put this one in. Nobody from position to stop this yet. Stays alive, wow. Puts that one in. And just like that, Tom, 3-0 victory over to Optic Gaming.
Yeah, that was impressive. I mean, what else can you say besides the fact that Frosty was going off, Royal 2 was doing ridiculous things, Lethal filled the map amazing. You have Snakebite, 3 flag captures, 2 returns. I mean, just insane game coming out from Optic Gaming. 6 minutes overall, averaging 2 flag caps a minute as we take a look at the stats. 14 and 9 coming out from Snakebite. Nothing kind of standing out, you know, like a sore thumb. You have Lunchbox and Falcated 5 and 12, 6 and 13, but there's nothing that you can do in a situation like that where Optic Gaming is playing it so well with the weapons. Just, you know, 4 dead to start, rocket sniper rifle. That's a recipe for disaster. It's just not going to happen for Evil Geniuses if that's how they come out of the gates.
Yeah, I mean, this is Optic Gaming is one of those teams where you really need to get a hot start. You heard from Ace's interview earlier. He's like, well, the only time we ever win Rig Strongholds is if we have an amazing opening start. Well, the only time you're going to beat Optic really is when you have one of those amazing starts, and even then, that's just not even close to the game being over.
Well, objective games can get out of hand very quickly, and you have to be very disciplined and being able to just give things up at times, being like, hey guys, we're not going to get a flag capture here. And you know, Evil Geniuses, they're kind of desperating down towards the end there, doing whatever they can to fight for it. But a lot of the times it's just about getting Royal 2 out of your cave and just being like, hey, let's start here and let's find the next big, you know, item on our checklist. A lot of times Optic Gaming doesn't give you time to even talk about that process or even think, and that's the result. It's just 3-0.
Right, and we do have a winner view coming up here. Lethal from Optic Gaming joining us. Lethal, congratulations on yet another win. It's nice to finally be able to get a hold of you. How are you guys feeling after this one?
You know, we feel fine. It just felt weird with like that little break we had. You know, teams are making changes and stuff, so it's kind of hard to get consistent practice because teams don't even have consistent rosters. So.
Yeah, it's been quite an interesting turmoil or, you know, hurricane going down in the roster world.
We got to get your thoughts on, what's your thoughts on everything that's transpired? And also, it's coming again right around the corner a couple days from now.
Yeah, I definitely think there's more that's going to happen because there's another roster change period this week. But I don't know. I think the liquid change kind of surprised people, but I think a switch was needed. Just, you know, they weren't really improving for a while. And I think it's good for Ace too because he's been with the same core group. So, a change can sometimes help.
So let's talk about a little bit about the series there, where it was obviously a 3-0. Game number 3 seemed to be, your typical Optic gaming, get control, continue to run with it. But game number 2 was actually pretty well fought by Evil Geniuses. Do you feel like they've made, significant improvements with tapping buttons? Do you feel like they're kind of getting better? Because Evil Geniuses has kind of been struggling for quite some time, and now they're starting to kind of put it together. They just don't seem to be all there quite yet.
Yeah, they struggled for a while. Some dude left the team randomly, and seems like everything went downhill after that.
Yeah, what a jerk.
But yeah, screw him. But they were looking really good, and then they just stopped playing a lot. They were like scrimming more than pretty much everyone, and then
Right.
now they've kind of just like stopped doing that. But they've definitely looked good still, just less consistent. I think they just need to play more.
Let's talk a little bit about practice, because I've always been a firm believer with whoever team wants it more, whatever team's going to practice more at the end of the day is definitely going to be top 3, but most likely going to win. Do you feel like what sets Optic Gaming apart, and what has continued to set Optic Gaming apart for so long in Halo 5?
A lack of a life, the same answer every time. We just keep playing this game. It's hard sometimes, game has been out for a while. Same maps pretty much, but we just keep playing basically.
Sacrifices have to be made.
Keep sacrificing our lives. Awesome, love it.
So staying on the grind there. Now, Lethal, you guys clearly had another, Optic Gaming-like performance here. Now, how do you see yourself, we were talking earlier, who's the main slayers on this team and how you fit in individually? Can you speak to that at all?
On my team?
Yes, your role on your team.
Same role pretty much I've always had on this team and EG. I kind of just fill. Most of the time I don't really have to do too much. I just try to block a lot of spawns, do random things like that. It's not really shown. Just kind of controlling the right place at the right time. But, I showed in the first Pro League when Royal 2 was sick and we had to use Rami that if I have to carry these idiots, I will.
We should play a game, What's in the Box?
Oh, that was actually a shipment from Turtle Beach.
Okay.
Turtle Beach hoodie, Turtle Beach shirts, Turtle Beach headphones, Turtle Beach hats, Turtle Beach. Everyone buy Turtle Beach. Brisk Mate, everything, man. Just go to the Optic Gaming Twitter, look at the header, look at all the sponsors, buy it all.
All right, Lethal, congratulations on that win. Best of luck on the 7-0 possibility for you guys in this Pro League.
All right, thank you. God bless.
I was going to say, what's his role on the team? I wanted to add in some comedy relief as well.
Comedic relief, sponsor promotions.
Yeah, sponsor promotions.
Could use some posters there.
Handles all the PR.
Yeah, good deal. Well, there you had it, though. Let's go ahead and take a look at today's schedules with scores, as we just saw Optic Gaming come out with another 3-0. So that's going to be a 3-2 epic Game 5, really, for Luminosity versus Ronin Esports with overtime. Can't ever forget about that. We had 2 3-0s, Splice over Straight, Optic over Evil Geniuses, and then the real surprise match of the day, Team Liquid with a 3-1 upset over Team Envious.
Yeah, what a series, especially that first one there, Luminosity going up against Ronin. I mean, we weren't able to predict how that Splice Straight Rippin' series was going to go. Optic Gaming, Evil Geniuses, yeah, maybe. But I feel like the big surprise there definitely has to be Team Liquid taking down Envious. The way that they did it, 3-1, seemed like they had been a team with a cohesive unit for quite some time now. Envious, the fire is going to be lit under them. Whenever they come off a loss, they come back firing big time. So whoever's playing them tomorrow, they're going to have to be watching out. As we take a look at the standings, you can see Optic Gaming and Splice still sitting at the top at 4-0, but that's where things got interesting here. The 3rd through 6th now, or 3rd through 5th, all locked up at 2-2, when before we had Envious sitting at 2 wins and 1 loss, and then also everybody else sitting in that 1-2 area. So things really starting to take form now.
Yeah, things are going to be opening up here by the end of tomorrow, and one more round of matches. We're really going to see who's going to be in those top 4 seeds heading into DreamHack Atlanta. And of course, if you're at home watching, we do want to hear from you. So besides joining the conversation on Twitter, we want to hear your feedback on the show. So make sure you watch or take a look at the link below here on your screen. You'll be able to submit your feedback there as well. well. Now, of course, this is going to be match day 4 just ending here. So let's take a look at what the next or tomorrow's matches are going to be here for the North American Pro League. So taking a look at the schedule, the match of the week, the first one to open up the night, Splice versus Team Envious. So Team Envious, like Tom said before, they always bounce back after a loss. So this is going to be a real test of whether or not Splice is going to pick up their first loss or continue that undefeated streak.
Tomorrow's games are going to be probably 50%, maybe twice as more intense than what we saw today. Splice versus Envious, absolutely insane. Optic Gaming versus Luminosity. Optic Gaming the favorite, but Luminosity came out with a strong performance today. EG versus Stray Rippin. This is huge for both of these teams. By far the most, as much as you guys want to look at these other matches, this is by far the most important match for tomorrow. Evil Geniuses versus Stray Rippin. If Evil Geniuses wins this one, it virtually sends Stray Rippin into the relegation. If Stray Rippin wins that one, they are fighting in for still possibly getting into that top 6. So that's the matchup that I'm looking forward to.
Definitely a lot on the line there. Now, of course, that's our 4 matches here done for the night. Now, there's still a lot more Halo action in store. At 1900 BST time, so it's 3 a.m. Pacific time, you will be able to watch the European HCS Pro League jump started there, and of course Sims leading the pack over there with friends. So of course we always appreciate you tuning in to watch us here. Stay tuned later tonight if you're going to watch some more Halo action in EU, but if not, we'll definitely see you back here in North America tomorrow. So everyone take care.
Thick and fast, Sims, thick and fast.